Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in the South, as well as our online audience tuning in through iHeartRadio. We're glad you guys could be with us as well. I had a chance to watch a brand new film that's out now that I know you guys are going to really enjoy. A lot of you are spending a lot of time at home right now anyway, so this is a great one to add to your viewing list. It's called Sweet Parents, and I'm so excited to welcome David Bly, Leah Rudick, as well as Casey Biggs to our program today to talk to us not only about the film, but what it's been like for them to let it see the light of day, what it was like for them to create this story, and of course let you guys know how you can be able to see it for yourself. Thanks to the three of you, and I really appreciate the time.
Thanks,
Glad to be here.
Happy to be here.
So, Leah and David, I'm going to start with you because I noticed when I was prepping for this segment that this has definitely been something that's been in the works for quite some time, right? I mean, you guys have had success with this, with the film festivals, and now, of course, they have it available for the world to be able to see. Leah, I'll start with you. I mean, how does it feel now for it to be available for the world?
It feels amazing. It's been, like you said, it's been a long road with a lot of highs and lows, and it feels good. It feels it feels like we earned this moment in time. We're going to celebrate tonight with steaks.
Well, good deal. David, what about for you? I mean, I noticed in an interview you did back in 2017, you talked about the importance of content creating, and I think this year in particular has shown us, ironically, why creators definitely have that power to be able to create something, and then, of course, their audience is for it. How does it feel to see all the hard work paying off for you, David?
Yeah, I mean, the journey of the film is almost old enough to drive at this point, which is insane. It's an indescribable high. I mean, just from the early years of working on it around 2006, and all the people that have had contributions to this project along the way is innumerable. It's insane. I mean, the people that are on this phone call have been with this project for so long, and it's such a milestone to be able to feel like something that I cared so deeply about was able to maintain its vision and now exist exactly how I had always hoped for it to be. And it just like restores some hope in me amidst all the chaos of everything going on. The fact that something that has faced so many obstacles can finally see the light of day it's a major milestone.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it really well done, and we're going to talk more about that, David. Carrie, I want to go to you. I mean, Casey, I'm sorry. People have known you for a lot of different types of projects. Sweet Parents is definitely us being able to see you in a totally different light. What was it like for you to be a part of this particular film?
Well, David was one of my students at the master's program at the New School for Drama, and I remember he came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this script. I would like you to take a look at it." And I looked at it. I said, "Oh, this is really good. Call me when you get the money." And he did. He called me when he got the money. And,
wow.
What's so wonderful about it, it's, as he said, arts in creating is such a collaborative notion, and it's a labor of love to do something like this. But to be able to support David, and then, with Leah when I met her through David, and then we shot in New York, we shot out here in California, and it was pretty impressive, the team that they pulled together. And my character is Brazilian, and the other good thing is that I had another student at the New School who was from Brazil, so I wrote all the lines down, and he recorded them for me. And so I could have a good Brazilian accent, which I think worked out, which was nice.
Yeah, amazing. And the way this all came together is so great, too. I should let our audience know, David and Leah, for those who are just now finding out about Sweet Parents, you guys are not only starring in this, The two of you wrote it. And David, you also directed it. It kind of goes back to what I mentioned about that 2017 interview. For you, Leah, I want to go to something that's kind of a side point. For those who are listening on the radio side, I'd asked Leah before the segment how to pronounce her last name, because one of the things I always do in my prep, Leah, is I find any video I can on my guest, and the video that came up for you was of your stand-up comedy. And I thought it was interesting, even though you didn't say your name. I got a chance to watch the comedy, and I thought it was so interesting because we do find, even in Sweet Parents, it's a powerful film, and there's, a lot of serious things in there, but there is some levity in there as well. What was that like for you, Leah, to bring kind of your two passions together in this, your love of acting, but also your love of life and comedy in this too?
Yeah, it was, this was, I feel like my background is really in comedy. That's kind of how I came up in New York. And but at in my heart, I've always considered myself a dramatic theater actress. So I feel like this film allowed me to use those chops, and it really fulfilled that part of me.
Right.
And it was, it was just so wonderful, the team that we had to work with, and to be able to act across from David. We met in acting class, and with Casey, who is obviously an incredible actor. It was really just a dream come true.
David, as Casey mentioned, you all go way back, even before Sweet Parents. What was that like for you to not only have written this with Leah, but then to direct it, and then to be directing, someone you're so close to like Casey?
I feel very fortunate that I met so many incredible artists as soon as I moved to New York. And I guess I should also explain what the movie's about a little bit. That it's about a couple living in New York, a chef and a sculptor, that have been there for a long time, and they're struggling to get by. And so through a piece of advice from a friend, the only way to survive in New York, the way New York has evolved, is to have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy. So that's why the film's called Sweet Parents. It's sort of a play on that term. And I feel like when I first moved to New York, I felt this experience. I didn't live this experience entirely to a T of the film, but I knew people that did, and I sort of immersed myself in that world. And I definitely wanted to receive financial support. I wish I could have accessed that part, that underbelly of New York, but I think, lucky that I was able to receive a different type of sweetness, I guess, for lack of a better word, in terms of the people that I met. Meeting someone like Casey felt like I was being taken care of. Meeting someone like Leah, who had her own journey, felt like I was being taken care of in a certain way that I felt very fortunate about. So, working with people that had been my mentors, been my teachers, either through grad school or Leah, as she was saying, in our acting class with this woman, Suzanne Shepard, just really strong artists who had lived their own journeys and were still living their own journeys, actively working in the industry, was so incredible.
Right. What a great point. Casey, I want to go to you with a question that's a broader thing, and I'll do my best not to spoil anything for those who haven't seen Sweet Parents. It's out now, and again, we'll remind our audience how they can do that. But one thing I was saying to one of my friends that is also a director, that I think this film is really very illustrative of the creative community in general. And then, Casey, I was curious as to your thoughts about this, and I'll ask David and Leah a similar question, because it's like the creative path is not the same for everyone. As we see in Sweet Parents, what works for some people, does not necessarily work for other people because of their values, their, what their intents are. What was that like for you to kind of look at Sweet Parents that way, Casey, of, the broader message there about life and the decisions that we make?
Well, it's, excuse me, it's to choose a life as an artist, whether you are a visual artist or, as David's character is in the movie, he's a chef, which is an artist as well. And I play an architect. And, to choose a life as an artist is a profound thing to do. And I think that it's a noble thing to do. And what's really a little frightening about our situation right now is that I'm so glad that, David and Leah and even me are not coming out of the gate right now, because there's really no work. I mean, so the thing that I pounded into the heads of my students at the new school, I said, you must not wait for anybody to give you permission to do your art. You create it. Don't wait for anybody to say it's okay. Give yourself permission to be an artist. Give yourself permission to actually go and express yourself and do it. And I think, David, you had the script originally before you even met Leah, didn't you? Or did you guys do it?
Yeah, I started working on it halfway through grad school. I think from these conversations that you had shared with us at school, I mean, I remember these moments where you were talking, expressing these points that we had to create our own art.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm a big believer in the fact that you don't wait for anybody's permission to go do your work, do your art. And I'm so pleased and thrilled that you pulled this off and you did it. And not only did you pull it off, you told a story that is resonating beyond, just the sort of the fun idea of these two young people trying to survive in New York. I think that it's a lovely way to see it, and there's ambiguity in it, and it's shot well. And I think one of the reviews said that it was a wonderful way to see New York in a different way than just all the glitz and glamour or something like that. Didn't it say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it definitely focuses on a different lens of New York, a different frame of New York that I think a lot of people experience, and I think even a lot of filmmakers experience, but end up choosing a more shiny version of New York based on precedents. But I think a lot more people resonate with the grime than they do the luster.
Right.
Yeah, and it's the reality of it, which I like so much. You got two people living in New York trying to make it work, and the chance meeting of my character with Leah's character and your character with the woman that wanted to build a restaurant for you or something. That's the way it happens. And it's you captured something beautiful in there that I think will resonate not just with New Yorkers or Los Angeles people, but anywhere, because it's how do you accomplish what you want to get accomplished? How do you create what you want to create? And also create with the thing that you deeply love, Leah's character is in sculpture, yours as a chef. And I mean, that's the beauty of the film, I think.
It's a great point also.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, David.
It's a great point also. We in another interview we did, we were discussing, the interviewer was from Miami, and he was a screenwriter in Miami, and we were talking about how, especially during the predicament that we're in right now as a country, as a planet, a lot of people are moving back to their respective hometowns, and I feel like it's more than ever, some themes of the film are resonant not just in the major metropolitan cities, but in big, medium-sized cities, smaller cities across the country, across the world, because there's people that are striving to pursue their passions and their crafts all over the world, and they're realizing that they don't necessarily have to make the ultimate sacrifice of leaving family to go to the New Yorks and the LAs, but at the same time, they're still trying to figure out how to take it to that next step in their respective careers, and they're still going to be faced with some type of obstacle of sacrifice along the way of how do I have to give up the one I love for what I love, let's say.
Right.
Yeah,
David, I'm so glad you brought
theme in the film. So.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, David, because that's one of the things I was going to ask you is, as we're talking about the professions, so to speak, of these characters, I mean, it really, and that's why I was telling my friend that I think the creative community really get a lot out of this, because it's so reminiscent of what so many people feel like they have to do to give up their creativity, to give up themselves in order to pursue something greater, for sure. But again, there are the lighter moments too in this particular film as well. David, I want to ask you this, and then Leah, then Casey will go back around. David, for you, I mean, what is it like for you now to be at a place where literally anyone, I know you said in this interview, again, going back to 2017, and definitely shout out to invitednyc.com that did the interview, you had said to them one of the things you wanted to do was to get more people in Canada to see it. Well, now that it's available on video demand, everyone around the world can see it. How does that feel now to see it all kind of come together?
To loosely quote the book Canada by famous actor Mike Myers, which I just read recently, and I was laughing and weeping the entire time. I, like him, anytime anyone mentions Canada or Montreal, where I'm from, I either tear up or I point to the screen or say hey, that's where I'm from. I'm just very happy. So just the sheer mention of Canada right now makes me very happy. And the thought that the fact that friends and family from back home are messaging me right now saying that it's showing up on their screens. Why they're watching it at 6 in the morning, I have no idea, but it's great. The fact that it's able to be seen by the people that mean the most to me, the people that made me who I am, it's just a insane full circle feeling that, my goal is to be able to, I guess, to speak to the last point I made about not necessarily needing to be in New York or LA. I think growing up, I didn't necessarily feel that I was able to pursue my dream career back home in Montreal, and I think that's changed for a lot of people, especially for younger generations. But my goal is to be able to make a lot of things in Canada with Canadians, and so the fact that this is now going to be sort of a calling card for me in Canada as the type of work I'd like to do, especially with fellow Canadians, is very exciting. I hope that I can take the next projects, as LeBron says to South Beach, as I'll say to Canada.
Got you. Leah, for you, it's all now come to this. For now, the world to be able to see this film and to be introduced to this story. How does that feel for it all now to come full circle?
It feels great. I think that the way that the sort of festival run that we had was really special because we premiered it in Brooklyn, right around the corner from where we had lived and shot many of the films. And so that was a really wonderful way to start to share the film. But now to be able to bring it to a broader audience, I'm so excited for my cousins in Ohio to be able to watch it, and all over the country and all over the world. It feels really fulfilling.
Yeah. Casey, a variation on the question for you, because you are able to experience now what I know a lot hope they're able to experience, and that is the student becoming the person who's able to step up and to kind of come into their own. How does that feel now to see what David has done, and what is your hope for other creatives as they kind of look at what David was able to start with and now where he is now?
Well, it's thrilling, for one thing, because, they learned something, which is great. And not only did they learn something, but you take the initiative to actually get something done. I think, I never thought I wanted to be a teacher, but when I was at the New School for 10 years or something, and I realized how important it was. To realize that you have something to pass the torch on, to pass something on, and I felt a huge responsibility to give these artists something that they could, when they walk out of the doors of the studio or the school or wherever, that they actually have some tools that will be working for them. Now, let's face it, not everybody who wants to be an actor, let's say, is going to be an actor. So I think because of a lot of it is kismet and who you know and all the rest of that. But if you, I felt a huge responsibility to try to train these people to live their life as an artist. Now, what does that mean? That means, how you make your bed can be a work of art. How you make your dinner is a work of art. And so basically we're all storytellers. And you live in a house or an apartment or whatever, that's a piece of your story. And so what's wonderful about Leah and David is they actually put their story or a story on a page that was that became something bigger than what both of them were, which I think is the reason to do it, actually. So my what's that?
Oh no,
Hello,
go ahead.
Still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Casey. Yeah.
Oh, so I think that to be able to say it's a hard thing to say. What do you do? Oh, I'm an artist. What do you do? Oh, I'm an actor. Oh, not I'm an actor. I'm a professional actor or director or whatever, producer or something like that. And to be brave enough to step out into the world to do that is fantastic. And now Dave and Leah got this. You know, they've done it now. They're not virgins anymore with this, which is fantastic. You know.
Well, we now want our audience to be able to experience Sweet Parents. As I mentioned, it is out now. Of course, our partner is Amazon.com. You guys can watch it on Amazon Prime or on any of the video-on-demand services. And, Leah, how can our audience stay connected with the film and all the updates with it?
Yes, you can. Our website is www.sweetparents.com. We're on Instagram at SweetParentsMovie. We are on Facebook, also Sweet Parents Movie, and then Twitter at Sweet Parents, Twitter is Sweet_Parents.
Okay. And we will make sure that we link up the website. Yeah, we'll make sure we link up the website for our audience joining us online as well. Again, everyone, David, Leah, Casey, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate the three of you stopping by. Congratulations again on this film, just what we needed during this time, giving something to watch, to enjoy, to laugh a little bit, to think a little bit, and we really appreciate that and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Cyrus.
Okay, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make it amazing. Take care.